Warning. This week's episode of the Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment podcast may include content that includes comments and conduct of an extremely graphic and explicit nature. Listener discretion is advised.
Of Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment. Let's go.
Welcome to the Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment podcast. Here's your host, Pastor Happy Feet.
Hey y'all, this is Leandria Johnson and you're listening to Pastor DJ Happy Feet. Yes, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, DJ Pastor Happy Feet, and this is the Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment podcast. And we got everybody here, and everybody is here that we got. So, I'm still getting my microphone together and to make sure that I hear everybody the way that I need to so we can see what everybody is saying. But today is a good day. We got a special guest on today, and we're going to bring up in a little bit. TyBoogie, what's going on?
Yo. Ain't nothing but the rent.
How was your day?
Great.
She was, oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. It sounded like it was.
It was great.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, she said it was great. This G was
great. My bad. Great.
Oh, that was great. Oh, that's Donald Trump great.
Oh, not no Donald Trump. Professor Crump.
What? Ben Crump. G, what's up, man?
No, not much. I got stiffed by my home health nurse today. She didn't show up.
Oh.
What?
She was scared to come down.
It's okay. I got a appointment on Tuesday, so they'll change them there anyway. So I'm good.
Did David call and inform you?
No, that's the thing.
Wow.
When she left on Thursday, she said, "Do you want me to come Monday because you got your appointment on Tuesday?" I'm like, yeah, sure. Come on. She's like, okay, I'll see you on Monday. And then she usually calls the night before and then when she's on her way. And I didn't get either call.
She be coming at nighttime.
No.
Oh.
I wouldn't be on this podcast right now if she was coming at nighttime.
Oh.
Oh, it ain't night yet. Anything open after 12 and house is hey.
What she do when she come?
That's a personal issue.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's here to bring you inspiration and information. That's what we do. And we've been trying to get all of the information out of G, and he just said that was personal.
Ooh.
So,
right. Don't tell your business.
Don't tell. But G, before we even get into our guest, let's just go ahead and do a quick trivia fact, and so we can give her plenty of time to talk because she has a very powerful testimony, and I'm gonna give it. I'll say more about it when after the trivia fact, and I know you're ready for one. So, ladies and gentlemen, no other than Mr. G, the walking encyclopedia himself.
Sight Beyond Sight podcast presents Random Trivia Facts with Mr. G.
And since we are in the middle of spring and temperatures are getting higher and we are craving more sunshine than rain, but hoping all the pollen goes away, believe it or not, there's a city in the United States that holds a Guinness World Record for being the sunniest city in the world. 91% of the time of the year, they have sunshine. And believe it or not, it's Yuma, Arizona. The sunniest city in the world. 91% of the time of the year, they have sunshine.
I'm sorry, Arizona. I'm coming home.
Most of that is because it's in the middle of the Sonoran Desert. but still, they're the sunniest city in the world. And their high for today was scheduled as of this date of recording. Their high today was supposed to be 97.
Wow. Summer yet.
But that's that dry heat too.
Yeah.
There's no humidity.
Yeah, it's low. It's like 10% humidity, but still it's 97 degrees.
I'm surprised there only be a bunch of wildfire when you strike a match. It'd be so hot over there.
Mm-hmm. The only place in the United States that was warmer, it had a scheduled warmer temperature today, was Death Valley, California, and their scheduled high was 100 degrees today.
Jesus.
Their low for today was our high for today. So when you woke up and because I checked it earlier. I checked it earlier because I woke up early this morning. It was around. So when I checked it, it was 3:30 their time, and it was already 81 degrees in Death Valley, California.
Man.
So they're looking forward to an interesting summer. Death Valley, by the way,
is the ribs I got cooking in there.
Why don't fires be out there?
Death Valley, by the way, is the hottest place on earth with the hottest recorded temperature at 135.1 degrees.
And they got people that live out there?
Yeah, they have people that live out there on purpose. And you are right. That's what causes all the wildfires in California, because of the Santa Ana winds that come through and all those mountain ranges there that funnel that wind, and with that dry air, there's nothing to keep the moisture in. So one spark or a lightning strike, and then 2/3 of the state is on fire.
Okay.
So gotta love California. If it ain't fires, it's earthquakes.
Shout out to California.
And that is my abbreviated trivia fact for today. Next week, tune in next week when we start up our Wu-Tang renaming. So that's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to hear that part. That's gonna be really good. All right, that's all you got?
Yep, that's all I got for today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's Mr. G and his trivia facts, y'all. The walking encyclopedia himself.
This has been Random Trivia Facts with Mr. G. Well done, sir. Well done.
This is DJ K Liddy, and you are now rocking with Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment. Tap in, man.
All right, y'all, as promised, y'all, we got us a guest on today, y'all. She has definitely a powerful testimony. She is a survivor. Just like we beyond. Who was that? Destiny Child survivor. Yeah, stronger than the survivor that used to come on TV. This woman has been gang raped, could have been dead a long time ago, and also have lost a child. And she's going to get into it and tell her, and we're going to take it back. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Miss Fatima here, who's going to come in here and talk to us on today. Fatima, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing, Mr. Happy Feet?
Yeah, we doing good, girl. Yo, it's so good to hear you.
It's so good to be here.
Yeah, I was anticipating this call for a minute ever since we talked the first time. She was still definitely is my sister from another Mr.
Absolutely.
Always been that. And so listen, let's go back for a little while before we jump into the what we were going to talk about today. Like, where are you from?
I am from New York, born and raised, but I've lived all around the world.
Just been everywhere, just old sailor, pretty much.
Yeah, but I ain't been to Eula, Arizona, where it reached 135.1.
I come back dark.
They got that fire out there. That's that fire.
He said 135. I said,
we outside cooking breakfast.
We outside cooking water. What you talking about?
We brewing tea out there, baby. You ain't got to do nothing but put it outside in the backyard.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So, growing up on the streets of New York, what's some of the things that you have experienced that you've what's some of the things that you experienced coming up?
In the streets of New York coming up. Well, you caught me off guard. You know, we should have rehearsed this.
No, it's
no.
Authentic is better.
For all the viewers here, they just put you on and catch you. Oh, God.
Yep, that's pretty much every week for me.
No,
but only you know your story. And
growing up in New York was everything. It was everything. It was different, you know. And I've traveled. I've got to travel and be a lot of different places. I think New York is the place that made me, though. You know, I learned my ins, my outs, my ups, my downs, the goods, the bads in this state of New York. Growing up, you know, it was fun growing up, double dutching, hopscotching. You know, we had big parks that I don't see no more. You know, back when I was growing up, we had parks that had we had the sprinklers, the seesaw, the merry-go, everything was in there at once. Now you go to the park, you get a swing, you get a slide. You know,
I don't think you know about no double dutch though.
Why not? You wasn't gonna jump in?
No, I'm talking about the kids around these days.
Oh, they don't know it down here.
No.
You remember when we used to get the cable wires?
Yes.
And you be outside with the cable wires.
Let alone the telephone cord.
Okay, those were good days.
Yes.
Those were good days.
Yes, indeed. So, all right, so let's talk. Go into the part where some of these things that happened to you in these in the event. Some of the events that took place, because you're also a rapper, a poet. So just tell us a little bit first about yourself. Something good bit so we can make sure that everybody get a nice background.
Well, I'm Fatima. I do music. I do some music. I am a poet. I've been writing since I was 5. I started poetry when I was 5 years old. And my music and my poetry is all basically surfaced off of my life and some of the things I've experienced, I've seen, that I've been through. As Pastor Happy Feet has said here today, I have been through some traumatizing events. I was gang raped at 13 years old. This did not transpire in New York, though. This did transpire in Baltimore, Maryland. I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I left home quite early, got into some things and met some of the wrong people. And hey, we'll get more into the story as we go along, but I'm still standing here today and able to get on this story right here and tell my story on this podcast.
You said you left home early.
I did.
Like you just went out earlier in the day?
I left home at 13. Early in age. Not so much in it. 13.
Gosh, be more careful. I'm out of here.
Well, you think when we young, we think we know everything.
Right. So right now you said if I could change anything, you would.
I change absolutely nothing.
Okay. Oh, okay. I absolutely like that idea.
I change absolutely nothing. Because
Okay.
if I change anything in my past, that changes who I am, and we can't do that.
All right. So that's one of the things I was going to ask you. What are some of the things that you have survived? Now, doing this. Go ahead. What you about to say?
No, what you was about to say.
I said, during this traumatizing event, during this time, how long did you tell anybody, or how did you do that? Because do you know there are lots of young girls that have been raped and never told nobody and going through something right now. What would you say before we even go any further to these little girls, or did you tell, or if you did, how?
I didn't tell the people I should have.
Oh.
I did. say it out loud eventually, not right away. It's not, I think that the biggest thing for young girls that get molested is once you say it out loud, it becomes real for everybody, including you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not easy when you go through those kind of things to just come out and tell anybody, especially if you don't have somebody close. It's all about support, and you have to feel like you have that to come and talk to anybody, you know. And as a kid, I didn't have much of that, or I didn't feel like I had much of that, so I confided in another kid. You know, because that was my support. That was the person that I talked to, that I confided in, that I, you know, cried to about things, and we shared our secrets. So that's who I confided in. I say that that wasn't the right person, not because it didn't do the job. The job was done. I had spoken out loud. It was now revealed to someone. But the reason why I say it was the wrong person is because I've spoken to someone that could absolutely help me with absolutely nothing about it. She wasn't an adult. She was a kid like me. I didn't want her to tell. She didn't think that it was something that she had to tell because I'm begging her as her friend not to tell. So she doesn't know that it's a crucial thing to have to go and tell an adult that this happened. So as I did tell someone, I just don't feel like maybe as a kid I said the right person.
And how many was it? Do you remember? 7?
Yes.
Yeah, that's terrible. All right, so when did you get past this point to be able to talk about that situation? It was way later in age, or a year or two?
I don't think you get past it. You learn to live with it.
So have you, you know, we talk a lot about forgiveness and different things like that. Have you ever forgave these guys for doing this to you, or even forgiven yourself?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So for many years, I looked for the place where I met these guys. For years. I looked for the place where I met these guys. And 2 years ago on Halloween, I got invited out. And I went out. And as we got to where we were going, as we got closer and closer, and we're walking down this long street of all these nice places, and there's lights everywhere, and we get closer, and we get closer, and we hit a place that struck something for me. And I turned around and I asked my friend, I said, hey, where are we? You know, what's this place? Where are we? And they tell me that we're at this place called Fells Point in Baltimore, Maryland. And as I stood there, I could see the place where I met the people that did what they did. I can see where they took me from. I could see everything except for where they took me to. And that's the only reason why I ever wanted to find a place. And I realized in that moment I had to forgive them, because my whole life I've been waiting to find them. And I don't know what I was waiting to find them for, so I can't answer that question because I never found them. But I waited my whole life to find them. I finally found a place where I knew that I'd be able to find them, and I realized that I wouldn't find them. And if I was going to ever be okay, I had to forgive and let go of those guys, or they'd haunt me the rest of my life.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So has it been like one tragedy thing after another growing up, or?
The devil stay busy.
Okay. That's the truth.
The devil stay busy.
But you survived a good bit. You've been even in abusive relationships, mentally, physically.
I broke a lot.
Of legs, arms, heads.
Something else. Not legs, not arms, not legs, and arms. Just mentally.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally. The best place to build is from ground up, you know. So after you break and you fall down, ain't nothing else to do but get up. I have survived a lot. I've seen a lot. I've endured a lot. Abusive relationships. I was young. I just wanted to be loved. And, you know, when you're young and you don't know what it is, sometimes you think one thing's love and that's not love, you know, just as long as the person can whisper wonderful things in your ear, because that's what it all starts with, is, you know, what you hear. Because you never know in the beginning, it's all what you hear. So when you hear beautiful things, you believe beautiful things, and sometimes when you see that it's not beautiful, it's hard to unhear what you already heard. So you stick around for some things.
Exactly. And you have not wrote a book yet.
I have not wrote a book yet.
But, you know, because there's definitely a lot that we probably won't even get a chance to even touch the surface of it. But
I think that book will turn into a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
There's a poem that you wrote. You might not even remember. Remember when you was here? You recorded it in my studio.
Absolutely.
Do you remember it, or remember some of the things that you were saying?
I do.
Which one? You remember? You remember the whole thing, or you remember some of the things you were saying?
I remember most of it. I'm probably like 3 lines shy of the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, of course.
So you know the beginning of it?
Yes.
All right, so before we get into that, and we'll get into our other thing in the next segment part, but right now, before we get into our corny joke, I want you to just do it for me a little bit.
I got you. So many nights, all I had was heartache and pain. Wanted sunshine, but only found rain. Tried to survive, but never could succeed. After a while, lost all hopes in my dream. Thinking I'm gonna make it just became a simple thought. Out in the streets was the way I was taught. Never been stupid, but did some stupid ass things. Had hopes dropped and shattered all my dreams. Lost my moms and pops being misunderstood. Found my family relied in the hood. Thinking I would die after being raped several times. Led me to commit some stupid behind crimes. Depending on the Lord brought me to hell. But I'm still dependent. What a story to tell. Lost my best friend, she was beat by her man. Look what could happen from your own man's hand. Afraid to be alone, but nobody would care. Not even my family would be there. Still turned out alright, ain't crazy, don't kill. Praying to the Lord, already dealt and still will. Why me? Why was I chosen for this lane? Why must I suffer with all this misery and pain? All I really want is somebody to see. That all I really need is somebody to love me. Hugs and kisses, never got those. Been through it all and my heart is so cold. What's the point in living if there's nothing worth living for? I'm not a dumb child, but at one point was poor. I don't remember the rest.
Oh, wow.
Man, you got a whole enough. I mean, you got enough to really grasp and catch my attention.
Yes.
Yeah. So, man, that's some powerful stuff right there, man. Because that alone tells some of the stuff of some of the content of your story.
Absolutely.
Even watching your friend being abused and murdered by her boyfriend.
Absolutely.
And the deaths that you have seen, and you definitely seen quite a bit. But before we dive into that, and I'm glad that you accepted to even be strong enough to talk about it, because it's like a fresh thing every year. So we're going to dive into that part of this story in a minute.
Don't go anywhere. We got more inspiration and information for you right after this.
Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment is now giving piano, drums, and vocal lessons to all those who are interested. Looking for a place for you or your group to record your project? Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment has the available studio time you're looking for. For more information on how to book your studio time or to sign up for lessons, call us 864-529-5360. Reach out to us on Facebook, Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment, or by email, sightbeyondsight7@gmail.com.
This your girl, TyBoogie, and I want to welcome you back to Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment Podcast. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, TyBoogie, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, so let's get it in with our corny joke. We haven't heard it in a while. Let's get it.
The Sight Beyond Sight podcast presents Joke Corner with TyBoogie.
Hey, what's a potato's favorite game?
Hot potato.
Mm-mm.
Sorry.
I said that's who I was trying to get to.
The mashed potato.
Mashed potato. It's not hot potato. Mashed potato. Dang.
It's a stupid answer, but y'all might get it.
No idea, G, yet?
No, not really.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, yep, give up.
Hashtag.
Oh,
Come on, give me
oh.
I didn't get it.
I don't get it.
This because of the hash browns, girl.
Yeah, that's what Tasha told me that way.
Yeah.
We should have used why did the librarian put the books in the sky?
Yeah. Oh God. You got another one?
Yes. What can make honey and words?
Bees.
The alphabet.
Spelling bees.
Technically, we were close together.
Got that one.
That was definitely a good one there. All right. What else you got?
Well, one more? Okay.
Yeah, one more.
Why couldn't the pony sing a lullaby?
Why couldn't the pony sing a lullaby? Because he just said, hey.
I would have said nay.
What? I'm not even trying. Why didn't the pony sing the lullaby?
I don't know. I said nay. G haven't said a word yet.
I know, right?
I'm probably overthinking these again.
You are.
Okay.
Why did the pony not sing the lullaby?
Why couldn't?
Why couldn't?
Sing a lullaby?
Because horses can't sing.
Because she was a little horse, yeah.
Well, I'll be done.
I got one more. Hope this one's funnier.
Okay. I mean,
they're funny.
It's very corny. Okay, why did the deer have to wear a brace?
Oh, I thought she about to say a bra.
I have no idea. I'm over it.
Why did the deer have to wear a brace? So he won't start hopping in front of the daggone cars in the road.
No, you know ain't gonna be no long answer like that.
I know.
Because he had buck teeth.
Oh.
I'm weak.
Yo, these are all for Laffy Taffies.
Yeah, man.
Look. The one I said was off of Laffy Taffy too. Why did the librarian put the books in the sky? Yeah.
What was the answer?
So people could look them up.
Got to be no cap. Take that Laffy Taffy. Take that Laffy Taffy. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's TyBoogie and a Corny Joke.
This has has been Joke Corner with TyBoogie.
But ladies and gentlemen, we're back and we're talking to Sister Fatima here, and she's telling you a story. Now, Fatima, you have kids, right?
I do. Absolutely.
And how many kids do you have?
I have 4, but one lives in heaven.
And you had children even after the incident. You was able to still have children later on, and that is definitely a blessing.
Yes, it
now,
is.
We're not going to skip over, you just said one lives in heaven. Okay, so you had one that died?
I did.
So she passed away.
She was murdered.
She was murdered.
Yes.
And we still, before we go further, you're comfortable talking about this, right?
I'm good.
All right, cool beans. Now, this story had hit the news. Are you ready to take us? I mean, not ready, but would you be willing to take us back to this day? This is the day that you would never forget. And tell us how long ago it was. I'm going to let you talk and have the rest of the show.
9 years. You said you're gonna let me talk and have the rest of the show, or you just want me to start talking?
And if I was to if I have a question we'll stop and ask you. So you could take us back and you could just tell us the story how this happened to you and your baby. Because I don't want to tell your story for you. You know it better than me.
I got you. I'm just trying to figure out where's a good space to start.
Okay, let's see. The day that you woke up and you was living in the place, and I believe it might have been Tennessee, and you was going to work.
Absolutely.
You could start from there. You left with your baby alive at work. I mean, before you went to work.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we'll start. That's a good starting place.
Good starting place. So, April 14th, 2016, I woke up to go to work, normal, regular day. At this time, I only had 2 children. I had a daughter who was 4, and I had a 1-year-old son. I was engaged to get married, and we were on some rough times, living check to check at a hotel. I woke up, I left that morning to go to work, and me and my fiance had discussed how we were going to make sure the kids ate for the day. On this particular day, it was payday. It was my first check, as we had just moved to Memphis a few weeks prior to that. And we discussed if the money came to one place, how he'd go feed the kids. And if the money came to where I was, then I would send for the kids to eat. I proceeded to work. And when I checked the card that I had, no money had touched. When I talked to him at about 9 o'clock, no money had touched the card he had either. I proceeded back to work, and we had a discussion talking about maybe, it'll hit later. We'll figure it out. I got to go back to work. Went back to work. I was waiting for about 12 o'clock for my next break to call and figure out if the money had made it. Well, at about 11:45, my supervisor walks over and he tells me that I need to reach out to home because my daughter had had a seizure. I remember panicking in that moment because I know that my daughter's dad had told me that in his childhood, he suffered with seizures. I had never witnessed it, but I had felt like my daughter was witnessing her first seizure, and I was not present. So I began to lose it. I called my significant other, and in the midst of chaos, he said to me, somebody was outside playing. She hit her head and now she's going to sleep. And I don't want her to go to sleep. And then he screams her name. I panicked. I didn't have a car. I was about 45 minutes away. I rode to work with people. So I ran to the people that I rode to work with, and I asked them, hey, can you take me home? I gotta go home. And I listened to my supervisor tell them that if they walked out the door, they wouldn't have a job to walk back to. So I got frantic, and I started to throw things inside of this facility that I was working in. And this lady, she came and she grabbed me. She said, just walk with me. Walked with her. And in about 20 minutes or so, a car pulled up to pick me up. And got in the car with this lady who gave me her name, told me that she was from corporate. And I tried to be in a good headspace. And so I say to the lady, I said, this is really nice. I never worked for a company where corporate would come and get you. The joke to the joke, because, they told my ride, they couldn't bring me home. But I say to the lady, I've never been somewhere where corporate would come pick you up and take you. And she says, yeah, we try to do our best here, and we're riding, and I'm trying to be in good space, but I'm not in a good space in my head. And so my conversation reverts to something else. And it goes from being positive to being completely negative. And I say to the lady, I say, I wish I would have never came here to Memphis. This is a horrible place for me. And she looked at me and she says, don't you let the devil talk through you like that. She was like, don't let him talk through you. She was like, I don't know what's going on, but like you just said, God stepped in because corporate is here to pick you up and to take you to whatever it is that's going on. And so I tell the lady, I think my baby is hurting real bad. Brent told the guys they can't take me home. My boyfriend sold my puppy last week. My car got took the week I got here. It just seems like everything's going bad since I came to Memphis, Tennessee. I told her that I've been waiting all day for this check. My kids is hungry. The checks ain't never touched. And the lady, she tells me to pray. And she says that she is going to go back to the office and find out what happened with my check. And if the check is at the office, she will personally self-deliver it back to my hands. And then we pulled up to the hotel, jumped out the car, and to my room. And when I walked in, my daughter lay there on the bed, and she's bleeding from her nose and out her ear. And I touched her. She was so cold. She was so cold. And so my brain knew what my heart couldn't accept. So I looked at this man, still in the thought that my daughter had a seizure, to bump her head. And I look at him and I say, she's dead. And he says, no, she's not dead. She's not dead. She can't be dead. She ain't dead. She ain't dead. And I proceeded to call 911. As I dialed 911, I heard something that I thought you could never hear when calling 911. It said, the Memphis Police Department is busy. Do not hang up or you will lose your place in line. And I hung up and I called again, and it said the same thing. So I picked up my baby, and I ran up the room, and I ran down the stairs to the lobby, and I'm screaming for help, just asking if anybody can help me. Please just help me. And the people keep saying to me, we can't get through to the police. And I'm like, somebody just take me to a hospital, please. He's dying. Nobody was moving. So I proceeded to run outside. I stood at a curb. I was screaming for anybody to just stop and help me. I was holding my baby and I was just screaming. And I watched this truck. I knew it was police, just like a PT truck drove past me. It rolled back up. He drove past me and rolled back up, and he finally jumped out. He was talking to me. But I could not hear him. I couldn't hear anything that he was saying to me. And when I finally could hear him, he was yelling at me. And he was saying, put the child down. Put the child down. And so I laid her down. And I watched him. I watched him. But I felt me. I watched him pump and breathe. Pump and breathe. And it was as though I was there. I could feel myself in his body because he wanted to save her as bad as I wanted her to get up. And he just kept pumping and breathing and pumping and breathing. And this pops finally showed up, and this lady, she grabs me, and I look at her and I'm just like, is my baby dead? And she say, he's trying. These paramedics jump out, and once the paramedics jump out, he moves. And they go, but not as long as he went. And then they grab this blue blanket, and they cover her body. And then I lost it. And they grabbed me and they put me in the back of a car. And they moved me away. As they was moving me, I saw my son. I almost forgot I had a son. I seen somebody holding my son. And so I was like, that's my baby. I need my baby. They got my baby. That's my baby. Somebody I don't know got my baby. Somebody got my baby. That's my baby. Somebody's holding my baby. And this lady, if you ever watch First 48, and if you go back to the Memphis ones, there's this black woman who wears curly hair. I didn't know that she was on First 48 then. But I never forget her face. So when I saw her on there, I remember. Because that was the woman that said she need her baby. Somebody bring this woman her baby. And so they brought me my son. And I'm going to take a break now.
I'm trying to gather my thoughts. And I thought I was going to be ready and prepared for it. But apparently, I guess it just took me for a loop as well, again, to be actually to hit and repeat. So just also to let you guys know, that is actually my niece that we're actually speaking of. And it's when this happened, it's actually my real niece that this happened to. And, this is why sometimes we just got to always make sure and be cautious whom we leave our children with and who we who acts to always come over to stay overnight and all of these things. You just always got to make sure that you are careful about where we are. Being aware of our surroundings and different things of that sort, because there are so many stories like this. And, I was reading another one the other day about where a woman and her husband moved into this place with their son. And all of a sudden, one day, the neighbor downstairs said that, we're having a party for my son. I know you guys just moved in the neighborhood and all of these things. And we're having a party for such and such on this day. So they said, okay, that's cool. We all can come. And they agreed to it. So when the day came, to fast forward, the day came and they hear the music downstairs. And so the person come up, knock on the door and say, hey, you guys can come on down to the party. You hear the music? She said, yeah, I hear the music. She said, well, my husband is not home right now, so I'm going to wait on my husband to come home. I'm going to do a little bit of cleaning, and then we'll come down with my son. She said, oh, no, but you can let your son come down, and while you wait on your husband, you can get acquainted by, you met my son and your son, the kids, they all can get acquainted while you waiting on your husband. And she insisted, and the mom said, okay, you can go ahead. And then, so before the husband came home, she went downstairs and was knocked on the door. Nobody came. And she said, oh, maybe the music's just too loud. So she went back upstairs and waited on her husband. And so I said, what's the music? I heard the music. She said, where the baby? And went downstairs. So they went down there. Nobody never came. They knocked on the door. Nobody came. Knocked, nobody came. The music steady playing. So they ended up calling the police to do a welfare check with them because their baby is in there. And the police went in, and they actually seen that the apartment was empty, and they went in the bathroom and found the child in the bathroom dead with his organs missing. So they killed this baby for his organs, and they ripped this family off and ripped and changed their life in an instant second. So if somebody's persistent and adamant about your child coming to some specific place, consider that a red flag. So make sure that you mention that. I'm glad that I was able to mention this story because I was going to do it today and I didn't want to forget, and I'm glad you took that break. So how you feeling okay?
I'm good. I'm
okay.
good.
All right, cool thing, because I want to make sure that you're good, because that's going to be an important part, because this is all tough. And it's like, oh, it was 9 years ago. Now this is still fresh. It never gets old, and the pain never goes away. And people think that just because, people think that because they haven't been through it. You don't know that there's a pain when you lose a child. It's a different type of pain. So, and I have never felt that pain losing a child, but we lost loved ones. But I know for a fact that it's definitely a different thing. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So you left off with the lady saying that you need your baby.
I need my baby. Okay. So.
Wait, I didn't ask the crew. Hold on. Y'all good?
Yes. I had to take a break too.
You good, G?
I'm a crybaby.
Yeah.
Yeah, I turned down my mic a couple times.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm good though.
My bad. I need to check on y'all mental health. I'm mental. So
you said it.
All right. All right, Fatima, go ahead.
So they bring me my baby and they pull us around. And they tell the officer to pull me around away from the scene. The lady tells her that we need to move her from right here. She can't stay right here. Move her. So the officer drives around the corner and she parks the car, and I'm in the car and I asked her, can I use her phone? And she was like, I'm not allowed to. She used the phone. I said to her, well, I just want to hear my baby voice. I need to watch a video or something because I'm never going to hear her again. She says, I'm sorry. not allowed to. Okay. So she gets out of the vehicle and she walks around to the back. And I don't think she realized the window was open. But she made a call. She called her kids. And I listened to her, just say I'm just calling because I just want to tell y'all I love y'all. I just want to make sure I make that phone call. And I don't mean to stop briefly, but I just, since I'm on here and I got a moment to say it, I just want to make sure that, we don't forget to do these things, because as parents, life gets hectic and it gets chaotic and it gets hard. And, we think that, everyday life is everyday life. So, everyday life consists of you waking up and seeing your child tomorrow morning. And it consists of these things. And so I'm not saying that we don't say I love you and we don't give hugs, because we do.
Right.
But when you lose a kid, how you wish you would have hugged a lot more and said I love you a lot more. Even if you say it every day, say it 10 times a day if you possibly can, because it matters. But back to the story. So she proceeded to guard children and let them know that she loved them. And then officer comes around and they say, hey, we need you to come down to the station and we need you to give us a report. Now, mind you, they asked me, who had the child? If I'm going to tell the story, I got to tell the truth, so I'm going to tell the story. Now, my fiance at the time had a warrant that I felt responsible for. I won't go into that story, but I'll just say I felt responsible for the warrant.
You don't have to.
And so when I thought my daughter had a seizure, and I didn't know that my child was murdered, when they say you had the child, I say, oh, my brother had her. He went to go find help. So when we leave to go give the statement, get to the police station, I had gathered myself because I had my son in my hands. And in my head, my son could not see me crying. One moment, baby. So I get to the police station and we're going up the elevator and I had it all together. I thought, I pulled myself together so that I can give this police report. And then we got off the elevator. We got off the elevator. And in that moment, things changed for me again, because when the elevator doors opened, there was a big sign in gold that said homicide. And so I turned to the people that are escorting me to go give my statement, and I say, why are we on the homicide floor? Homicide means murder. My baby wasn't murdered. My baby had a seizure in her head. Why are we on the homicide floor? And nobody said nothing. But everybody's eyes said everything. Nobody had to say anything. And so we proceeded, and I carried my son into this room where I saw a bunch of people from the hotel waiting. And I saw somebody I knew. And I walked over and I said, hey, can you hold my son for just a second? I need to go to the bathroom. And I went to the bathroom. And I sat under the bathroom sink. And I broke. You crying? No, go in the room, Mama. And I broke. And this lady came in. And she's like, you gotta get up, Mama. You gotta get up. You gotta get up. You can't sit here like this. And I get up. I walk with her and I go back in. I get my son. I go in. and I give a statement. And I get to talking to the lady that's taking my statement. She tells me, you know, that her daughter was murdered. And I tell her that that's impossible. I tell her that that's impossible, that didn't happen. And I wrote my fiance a letter, a very long letter. And in that letter, I stated that I didn't believe he did that. And that if I found out he didn't do it, I'd fight the rest of my life to get him out. But if I found out that he did do it, I'd fight the rest of my life to make sure he right now. And so a detective came and see me. And he asked me, can he read a portion of the letter before he gives him the whole letter? And I said, you know, he will give him the whole letter, but he just would like to read a portion of it first. And I told him that was fine. And after I wrote the statement, they told me I couldn't leave just quite yet. So I went downstairs to have a cigarette. And as I'm smoking my cigarette, this lady walks up to me. And the officer comes beside me and rubs my back. And the lady looks at me and says, I'm Elise McNutt. I am here with the Department of Family and Children's Services. And I just want to let you know that your son's never going home with you today. And so I broke down again. And I start crying. And I say, what do you mean my son's not going home with me? What are you talking about? And she says, look at you. You can't even keep it together. It's not an environment we can send him back home to. And so we go upstairs to this room, and my baby's sleep. And they refuse to allow me to wake him up to say bye. And then she took my son and carried him away. And then the detective came back out with a confession from my fiance. And in the confession, he stated that he pushed her and she fell and hit her head on the refrigerator. I would have loved to believe that. And for a long time I did. And for a while, I fell into this place where I was like, you know, accidents happen. And then it's until August. My daughter died in April. Before I left Memphis, I went to a hotel. I went to the hotel that I stayed at. And I requested a video. I asked the owner if he could allow the person at the desk, because he wasn't there. They had to call for me because the guy kept telling me no. Me and the owner were friends. You know, he never talked on the news. They talked bad about him, but he was my friend. So I called and I said, hey, I need to see that video from that day. I'm leaving town and I just have to see the video from the time I left to the time I got back. And I watched the video. I was watching the video because I had went to the jail. Before I was going to leave Memphis, I went to the jail and I saw him. And I said to my mother, say he don't got the look And she said, what are you talking about? And I just said, when you kill somebody, you know, your eyes change. Something's different. And they don't got it. Well, I watched the video the day before I left. And at 9:42, my daughter was dead. And I say that with no hesitation because at 9:42, he came back out the room. He had already left the room to go get breakfast. He went and got breakfast. Excuse my language. He went and got breakfast. He brought breakfast and then he went back in. But at 9:42, he came back out and he looked up at that camera. And when he looked at that camera, he had that look I was talking about. I still awaited for some things. But in August, I got my daughter's autopsy. I got her autopsy. And her autopsy definitely concludes that she hit her head. She did hit her head. But it also concluded a lot of other things. You know, she had a blood force trauma to the head, a fractured skull, fractured ribs, blood force trauma to the chest. And, you know, that was enough for me to know that, you know, that ain't no fall. And so I took my trip back to the jail. I let him know that I knew. You know, that I knew what he did. And I still didn't have no closure though. Because now I needed to know why and how and what led to. And I waited 7 years. I did a lot of bad things to prepare. You know, I learned a lot. Like, I learned that people do things for reasons that people could never understand. I got into so much trouble. And people just thought I just became problematic. But nobody could understand and nobody knew. I didn't tell nobody. I wasn't problematic. I had to prepare. I needed to be prepared to sit in the courtroom because I didn't know how. I needed to be ready for when people asked me questions. I didn't know how to answer. I needed to be prepared to fight for my daughter when I sat in the courtroom against somebody that I once loved. So I had to get in trouble. Because that's the only way to get into a courtroom and learn. Because just watching wasn't doing it. Ain't nobody asking me no questions. Ain't nobody testing me to see if I can answer them. And then 7 years, I'm so ready for trial. And I'm thinking that I'm going to get my due date. I done ruined my record and did all kind of stuff for my due diligence for my baby. And after 7 years, these people called me. They didn't call me first, though. First, a reporter calls me. And he says, I want your story. Since Alan is going up in court to fight. And I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And he says, well, you don't know. And I said, what is it that I'm supposed to know? And he says, the detective on the case has been found dirty on another case. So every case that he is on is now up in the air. And that includes your daughters. And so then he proceeds to let me know that my ex-fiance was telling the world that he didn't even know me, that he knew my mother, and that she had called him over to come help me out. I told the reporter my story. I also told the reporter that I don't know if that detective is dirty. But I do know that that was the detective that helped me. And if he was dirty, he wasn't dirty on that case. He couldn't give me any more information, but he did send me a copy of his report for free. And I read it. And it helped me. And it prepared me more for court. I always wondered. I kept pictures of this man. I kept pictures of him and me, of him and my daughter, of us. And I used to tell myself I kept the pictures because I needed to remember that even though I slept with the devil, he was good at being deceitful.
Y'all listen to that, world.
But then I realized that I had kept them because there was going to come a day that I was going to need them in court. Because this man had told the whole world that we didn't even know each other. My mom never lived in Memphis. My mother never been in Memphis until my daughter died. Got ready. I was so prepared. I was even more prepared, and I was extra happy. I was like, oh, he going down like the Titanic now. You done fucked yourself. Excuse my language. Well, he beat me twice. He realized he effed himself too. So he pled guilty because they forgot to Mirandize him and because the detective got found dirty. They didn't even wait for me to say, yes, I agree to the second degree. They called and asked. I said, give me a day. And by the next day, they had already accepted because they felt like they couldn't get a win without doing it that way. But they had a win. We had a win. We had a win.
So how long they gave him?
20 years, but he had already been in there 7, which leaves 13. On good behavior, on a 20-year bid, you can do 14 years.
14 years.
Yeah.
So, because he did 7 already, if he does well and behaves in 7 years, that man will be walking here on earth. And it's been 2 years since they told me that. So in 5 years, he'll be out here. In 5 years, I'll only be 40. He's younger than me. He still gets to come out and live a full-fledged life.
So, with that being said, you got to make sure that we definitely keep you in prayer because this is definitely a tough situation. Because now that you have, 3 children now?
I have 3 children.
Yes, and you have done so good. You have all your children there with you. And you're taking care of them. And you're still cooking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's another one who can cook, G. But yeah, so you never found this closure. But tell me, what was his response when you went in there that time, the very first time when you went to the jail to see him, to ask him this question? When you asking him, what was his response to you?
He lied. He blamed somebody else. Gotcha. And I went there and acted crazy and almost got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I watched the video, and the crazy part is, I couldn't stand the person he blamed. But it's crazy because the person he blamed was the one person defending him. But he didn't know that. The person he blamed, I couldn't stand. And it was the one person that told the whole world, I don't believe he did that. I'll blame her first.
Wow.
Yes. But
Yeah.
I will, for this podcast and for Vincent and for everybody here, he has some charges in Maryland that have come up that hold a few years. So I am going to now reach back out to Memphis so I can get the information because I didn't want it. I didn't want his release. But I needed more so that I can be there. And if everybody would like to contribute letters when he goes up for his time, paroling and all these good things, I will be there. And if anybody has a letter they'd like to send, I will send that information to you. It will be in 7 years, but I will send that out. And if everybody would like to contribute or send some love through with me to the jail, I will be there every time he comes up for parole until he's done his whole 20.
So,
and the charges in Maryland, when he does get released, I will be trying to make sure that they pick him up and take him there to do his 10 years there as well.
Exactly. So, so you don't have the place now where they can send this letters and different things like that. This is only during that time frame.
Right. So the lady, Special Victims, did reach out to me when he got sentenced. And she did tell me that there was a form to fill out. He sent me the form. I never filled it out. I'm going to fill it out. But the form is so that every time he is relocated, moved, or up for parole, they have to contact me.
Yeah. Okay. So there's nothing right now to send anything anywhere.
At the moment, the only thing I'm about to do is start sending stuff to Baltimore so that they can make sure that they pick him up.
Okay, so whenever you get that information for them to start showing it, so you do the petition or whatever to show love towards you, then, or anything, that's right. You give the information to me, then I'll make sure that we broadcast it, and also that way we can get justice for Samaya.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Justice for Samaya. Yes. So then we would make sure that we would do everything we could. We will announce it every time we record when that time comes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
And I really, I really, really, really appreciate you taking the time to come and talk to us and tell us your story.
I appreciate you having me.
You know, it's a tough moment to begin to relive that story. And you've done an amazing job, and I just never heard G this ever quiet ever. But
yeah.
Yeah.
G got to wipe his tears a little bit. He got the foam muter. He catching himself, all right? Yeah.
You say he doing what with himself? How you know that?
Because I'm doing it too. I just know how to talk.
Stop.
But yeah, that definitely was
I feel like I was watching the movie. I feel like I was right in the movie.
Yeah, I'm glad you started talking. I was about to say, I was about to ask both of y'all how y'all feel. Did y'all have anything to say right quick? Because I didn't want to end without giving y'all an opportunity to say something.
I do have one thing to say. I just went to a revival, and the subject was, how do you live through broken pieces? And you are the example of living through broken pieces.
You put them you glue them back together, even though they broken.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, only one who can fix a broken heart is God. But it's up to us to allow him because we have that freedom of choice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Everybody thinks that when they say God got you, that it means that you ain't got to do no work. That's not what it means.
No, you got to put
You got to put in the time and you got to put in the effort. But just know in the midst of whatever you're doing, God's there with you. And he's lifting you up in those moments when you feel like you're just flat on the ground. That's when you know for certain, without a shadow of a doubt, that God is real and that God does love you. And those and it takes those moments to realize how great God is in our life.
And she cooking now?
No, I'm lighting a cigarette. Lord, forgive me.
Oh, okay, you were trying.
But
like Mr. G do.
Yeah, right. He'd be coughing.
Don't be spreading lies and falsities and
Mr. G, yeah, and now if you ain't tell me that we could do it on the show, I would have, been all right. I would have even teared up so much if you told me that. I was trying to be a good while I was on the show. See that? That's crazy. None all day telling myself that I can't do this when I'm going on past the Happy Feet show. I got to do it.
Y'all got guests ringing on me now. That's fantastic. This is
right.
It's all good.
Yeah, but once again, we really appreciate that, man. at least.
I got one more thing to say. I just want to say that what Pastor G just said, that God shows you that he's with you. Man, I sat in a dark tunnel for a very long time, and it was dark. It was real dark, and I got comfortable sitting in darkness, sitting with demons. I got comfortable sitting there. They started to sound normal. But I'm not going to say God carried me, but he stood right beside me so that in the dark tunnel where I couldn't see, if he was touching one wall and I was touching the other wall, we could just keep going straight so that I can get to the destination.
And the powerful thing you did in this dark tunnel, you didn't stop.
Found the light. I did not stop.
Yeah.
It was hard. It was hard, and it still is.
Yeah, it still is hard, and it's gonna definitely remain hard. It never gets easier.
No,
it gets more manageable.
It gets manageable
because you can have it can hit a spell. You could get hit at any time. Oh my God, you just break down crying. Just those spur of the moment thing that just happens to you. So you just never get past that.
Yeah,
absolutely. I'm glad we're doing this in May because I don't. April and May, I don't do April and I don't do May.
Yeah, I know.
Mother's Day comes in May. She made me a mom. That was my first. So Mother's Day is rough for me. And April is her time of leaving, so it's rough for me. November is always rough because it's the month she was born. All those days come, but I tell people it's always hard. People be like, oh, it gets greater later. I wake up every morning and look at 3 kids and know it's supposed to be 4. My mornings are hard as soon as I wake up.
And she was the first.
She's my first. She was my first. But she's still around.
She'll be a teenager, man.
Yes, sir. My baby 13.
You're 13 years old. Boy, I bet she will be acting just like daggone Sierra now.
Lord Jesus.
No, you wouldn't. I doubt it. Let me stop, but they might hear me.
They gonna listen to this podcast. They turned out all right. Don't do them. They turned out all right.
Yeah, they turned out all right. Naira, she like to eat glizzies. He said, no, Uncle Vincent, you like glizzies. Girl, no, I don't. You do.
We knew Naira was gonna be a little Raheem.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so once again, we appreciate you so much, and then we'll make sure. We're going to keep in touch either way it go. But as soon as that information come about, then we're going to make sure we do our part.
All right now. Thank you.
Make sure we get justice for
Zamaya.
Okay. All right. So people, y'all make sure that y'all keep.
Hi, y'all. Say hi, everybody.
Up?
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
What's your name?
What's your name?
Hi, Uncle Vincent.
How you doing? I'm going to go ahead and say my name.
Right there?
Yes,
what's
right there.
What's your name?
That one is him. Yes, that one's him.
What's your name?
Brian.
What's your name?
Diana.
Zayana. Hey, baby, how you doing, Zayana? Oh, you see my Superman?
Yeah, she said you flying. You heard her?
Oh, I love it.
I actually put that up there because I said that that's what I was going to always do to make sure that I be there for those who are in need. And that's why I have not changed it yet. There's a little kid just about that age, her age, told me that I was their superhero. And I hear older guys would tell me the same thing. And then I don't believe it. But I said, well, if this is the case, then I'm going to just do it. And I'm going to always continuously to be that hero to someone. I'm going to be that example, no matter how tired I get, upset I get. I'm going to continue to maintain.
Vincent was my hero. Pastor Happy Feet was my hero. Okay. Yeah. All right. While I was pregnant with that baby that we just talked about, he took good care of me.
Yeah, man. I'll never forget that. and making quesadillas.
Making quesadillas.
You know, and I haven't had one since. No man, every time we go to a restaurant, they be ordering them. I just haven't ate them. I just want to get
Good times.
I can't answer why or none. I just want, but I guarantee if you made one right now, I'll probably eat it.
I'm going to what you know this.
Yeah. When people say, "Oh, he just saying that because she on the show." No. So, but this is what we do, how we end the show. So, TyBoogie, make sure that we tell them to what?
Let it hurt, let it heal, and let it go.
Okay.
Yes, indeed. So we thank y'all so much for tuning in. Every Sunday we're here to bring you the inspiration and information. All right, y'all, hold it down, Mr. G. Thank you so much, Fatima.
Thank you.
Hey, wait. Y'all know what I cooked today?
What you cook?
Y'all not gonna believe. Y'all gonna think I'm an old man. I promise you, I was in there for 2 hours. I had baked some barbecue ribs, cabbage, some lima beans, and I'm not doing the rice. I guess the rice is already made.
You just want to make somebody hungry.
I have some lima. Yeah, I put the ham
Lima
hock in it.
beans?
Yes, I put the ham hock in it.
Hold on, you said lima beans though. It's lima beans.
Yeah. You gotta say it right. You gotta say it just like that.
What are llama beans?
Like, and I ain't say Lana Donuts, so yeah, it's got to be a llama bean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said like
that's
my
what you
father
said. That sounds real good, Vincent.
Yeah, I did it. I actually did it today. I was cooking.
That's code for send me a plate.
I'm coming to your house for the summer. Make room.
Well, and I came back from Colombia and did it.
Guess what I did today?
What you do today before we go?
I went and signed up for the gym.
Shut the front door.
Shut the front door. Health is wealth. I am getting healthy.
I know that's right.
So is it just gonna be a sign up, or you gonna be participating?
You know what? It's funny that you asked that because when I walked in, I put on my workout outfit and everything. I walked in, signed up, and was like, "All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow."
That's a darn shame. Oh gosh, but okay. All right,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna send you a picture.
Yeah, get in there.
When you write that book, you let me know.
You gonna buy it?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure. She ain't nosy for nothing.
All right, I'm trying to be in the movie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I'm gonna need you in it. We gonna put this together.
Yes, indeed. Hey, it could definitely be a Tubi movie.
Oh Lord. Better than
I'm going to be in a Tubi movie, well, a Tubi series that will be coming out called Kicking Indoors. It should be coming out within the next year. So
wait, you're going to be in it?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, wow.
And it's called Kicking Indoors?
It's called Kicking Indoors.
Oh, man, I'm so glad we brought that up.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes. This will be out.
Yeah, if you could put that in the description too.
Yeah, I will. I sure will. Most definitely.
All right, cool beans. All right, and you had enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll definitely talk to you soon.
You as well. This was wonderful. Thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment Podcast, a podcast of inspiration and information, a production of Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment. If you have a question that you would like to submit to the podcast to be answered by Pastor Happy Feet and the crew, drop us a voicemail at 864-256-0922. Also, check out more episodes and content on our Facebook page, Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment, on X at Podcast Sight 4, and reach out to us via email, sightbeyondsight7@gmail.com. God bless, and always remember,
Let it hurt, let it heal, and let it go. Peace.
Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment is your home for quality, professional DJ and photography services, school functions, church events, weddings, you name it. Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment is here to help make your event special just for you. We also offer audio recording time in our studio for you and your group, as well as piano and drum lessons for people of all
pages. For more information, reach out to us on our Facebook page, Sight Beyond Sight Entertainment. Call us at 864-529-5360 or reach out to us via email at sightbeyondsight7@gmail.com.